Gareth Bryant. How are you?
I am well, Em. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much for being here today. Look, we've been friends a really long time. I've known you since way back. You used to pass my house when I was living in Currumbin when you were doing the Scenstr deliveries back in the early 2000s.
That was early 2000s. When was that?
Amazing. And now you're the editor. So that's been quite a journey. Can you tell me something else about what you've done or a fun fact about you?
A fun fact, even though I work in the music industry, my other love would be sport. Often music and sport don't go together, but I have as much passion and enthusiasm for sport as I do music. Often people don't know that about me, or they only know me as the sports fan, and then they find out, oh, you work in the industry, in like the music industry. So a fun fact, yeah.
There you go. Learn something new every day. Today, we're doing a little interview series here for indie artists, and the topic I've chosen for you is some tips for marketing and promoting an indie release. Yeah. I thought that'd be a good one for you, given your position. What I wanted was just to get a few tips for indies on how to market a release.
So you need to be ready to promote what you are releasing, whether it be a song, an album, a tour. It's no good coming to me and you've still got things coming together, so to speak. So what you are promoting should be at the finished stage.
Yeah, so you made a very good point about having the product ready, something that's got to be ready to go, and it's all the elements are in place. Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious about, whether or not you would probably see a lot of common mistakes in your business, artists coming to you, approaching the wrong way or doing the wrong thing. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Cool. So in my day, believe it or not, I get hundreds upon hundreds of emails. So it's actually quite tough to get through that mess of emails. So to actually, and things that I see all the time, often the most basic information will be left out. Contact phone number, who is the contact, where is the band from, what does the band sound like, even though it can be, people don't want to be pigeonholed. Often I will read a whole press release and I won't know if you're rock or hip hop or jazz or metal, and they're all quite diverse sounds. So just a line about what you sounded like. But often leaving off phone numbers. Other things are dates. When has it been released? What is the right date for the show? Often, and this is quite easy in the speed of what we do in the world today, is that often the dates will be wrong. It will say Thursday, August 9, when in fact it's meant to be Friday, August 9. So what I'll say is double, triple, quadruple check your work. You will pick up so many errors, and myself, I find that I check my emails. The times I'll hit send and it's been a rushed email, and I'll say, I've missed out that. I've actually missed out that part, and it makes you look unprofessional, even though most people will be fine. When it comes to the basic facts, as an editor, I don't want to have to be chasing you to find out what date your album is actually coming out. So
one other thing I wanted to cover is just any personal qualities that you feel are important when approaching a campaign.
Often for newer bands, remember that you may be well known in your own inner circle, your own family and friends, but for the most part you'll be completely unknown. But that being said, there are hundreds of other bands in the same space, and they're all fighting for that same media kind of attention. So it's that old kind of story of you need to sell a secret. So don't be afraid to actually put your work out there to explain who you are.
Yeah, that's amazing, Gareth. That's fantastic. Look, thank you so much for sharing that valuable information. I just want to come up with a summary of what we've talked about today. What's one thing that we could potentially take away from this interview that indies, is the gold nugget of wisdom here today for this marketing and indie release?
Believe in your product. It's actually simple to say, but if you don't have belief in what you're doing, others won't too. So confidence is contagious.
Oh, I love that. Confidence is contagious. Yeah. That's our tagline. Yeah. Awesome. All right, I'm going to just ask you a quick question for fun. Yep. If you were stuck on a desert island for the rest of your life and could only take one album with you, which one would it be? I've been dying to ask you this question.
Speaking to a music editor with 17 years experience, that is tough. I'm thinking of so many.
First one that comes to mind?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is the first band I did fall in love when I first began this job many years ago. It's a small Sydney band who are no longer together now called Galveston, and their debut album was called 1704, and I recall it was 2002. I got the album, and it was as if the Beatles had put out an album in that year. I'm getting goosebumps as I speak to you. Unfortunately, they only put out one more album, which was good, but not as great as 1704. But Galveston 1704 would be the one album I could take, because it's so diverse throughout, and I've actually played it that many times that it's still cool now. So.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today, and appreciate you being here.
My pleasure. Cheers.